Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 16th to the 31st, 2021 reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Aries, December 16th to 31st, 2021, Aries. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Magician. I love it. We have the High Priestess. And we have the Hanged Man. Absolutely beautiful. So let's see our inner self. We have the Five of Wands. And we have the Two of Swords. There's going to be some sort of resolution or revolution. Yeah, both, actually, that come forward. It's like all of a sudden, the chaos that is within us, we start to see it. We start to really say, well, do I want this here? Do I need this here? What the heck is this about? And then we're going to start to see new roads open to us. We have the Two of Swords again. So this is also going to be something very emotional, also that we're dealing with internally for ourselves. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Everything starts to change. This is when we can feel emotionally like we don't know exactly where we're headed. Like there's this change coming forward and we feel like we're just in it for the ride and we want to see where we end up. Then let's look at the public arena. We have the Two of Wands. So the world starts to open to us in the public arena. And we have the Knight of Coins, which is water sign energy, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So if we have water sign energy within our natal chart, this comes through very powerfully in our public arena self, in our public personality. Also, if we're born on the cusp with Aries. So just being very aware of that is also going to be very important. Now let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. So this is the star. Now we need to be reminded to keep our feet firmly planted on the ground and not let ourselves fall completely into our dreams and what we wish and hope would happen. But this is also going to be a warning against people who tell us things that are kind of too good to be true. They're really going to play off of our dreams and what we desire, and it's going to be some sort of manipulation that's coming forward with that, and that's going to be something to be just very aware of during this time. We then have our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. flexibility. Now, this is the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra holds our creativity. It also holds our sensuality, but it holds a lot of the trauma drama from this life and from past lives. So we're going to need here, Aries, to be more flexible with ourselves, with what we desire, with the way that we're moving forward. And this is also embracing the flexibility of, I don't need to know everything. I don't need to have everything planned out. So that's going to be really quite beneficial for us during this time. Now, before we dive into what the tarot is saying, let's see how the tarot and everything just correlates to the astrology of it all. So there's nothing happening on the 16th of December. It gives us a nice little quiet time, which is very nice. On the 17th of December, we have the Sun sextile Pluto. Now, this is a fantastic influence. It makes us magnetic. It makes us charming. We're driven and determined, and it's almost as if whatever we focus on, we make it happen. So we need to take advantage of this day. We need to really utilize it. Also, on the 17th of December, we have the Sun semi-sextile Venus. Now, this adds to the power of the day. We are exuberant with energy. We're vibrating with it. There's love on our side, which helps us propel ourselves forward to success. Love and money can really be on our side. It's going to seem like I can get this done. I can achieve this. I know what I'm looking at. Opportunities start to open to us. Even if there's no opportunity opening by somebody else's means, we're going to have the self-confidence and the determination within ourselves to really make our own way forward. And we can really see this with the Two of Wands. We're opening up that door and we're holding the world in our hands and saying, where do I want to be? Not where's this world taking me, but where do I want to be? On the 18th of December, we have the full moon in Gemini, which there will be another video on. On the 19th of December, we have Mercury squared Chiron. Now, this configuration can make us anxious about saying the right thing or saying the wrong thing and being misunderstood, and it's just going to be ourselves being way too much in our own heads. We have to be kind to ourselves and realize that if we speak with compassion and passion and peace, that if we come from a place of good vibrations, not to sound cheesy about it, but if we're coming from a place where our energy vibration and what we intend to be spoken or heard is from a place of love and compassion, then if people twist that, that's on them. It's not on us. So we really have to be mindful here and not let people take our words and make it into kind of like a battleground. We also need to be compassionate with ourselves, because this is going to be a time where we think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so stupid to make that mistake. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this or did that. And Spirit's saying here, calm down and center into yourself. Because also on the 19th of December, we have Venus going into retrograde until the 1st of 2021, the 1st of January 2021. Now, Venus going retrograde brings big changes with our love. Because Venus is aligned here with Pluto, it will make it a bit more challenging than we regularly see Venus going retrograde being. We will also have to remember to make time for ourselves, for our hearts, for our emotions. And if we don't feel like we have time for this, we're really going to have to say, I matter, and I need to make time for me. Relationships can be challenging, but we need to also include that relationship with ourselves. So our relationship with ourselves can be, I just need to keep pushing forward. I just need to forge ahead. And what Spirit's saying here is, be kind to you, take time, connect. Because if we have our love vibration for ourselves and our hearts at a high place, it's going to be harder for things to kind of go astray. So it's just going to be very important for us. On the 19th of December, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter. So also on the 19th of December, we have the Sun sextile Jupiter. Now, with everything going on with Venus retrograde, we need the good luck of this alignment of the Sun sextile Jupiter. It brings luck, and it brings us a sense of being in the right place at the right time. Our enthusiasm, our self-confidence, it serves us well, and we need to let it guide us forward. On the 20th of December, Mercury is semi-sextile Saturn. Now, this is an alignment that gets things done. We have focus, we have our mindset on our abilities and what we want. We're looking at the bigger picture. We're organized, like really organized on this day. If we let ourselves be, we can be super organized, or if we need to organize things, this is a day to do it. This is a day to kind of declutter, to look at things and say, okay, I'm getting it done. We have excellent memories, and we just get the job done. We really look at things. We see the bigger picture. We know where to attack and where not to. Now, we may have a tendency to get too obsessed with things, look too deeply into things, research things too much. So be aware of that. Also, on the 20th of December, we have Mercury trine Uranus. Now, this is an amazing alignment. Here, we are brilliant and we are creative. We are able to see what is needed and express ourselves really well. We can see and almost sense the future, which means that if we are looking to embrace our psychic abilities, this is the day to do it. This is also the day just to be in tune, just to feel connected. We really are going to have some sort of power on our side on this day with Mercury trine Uranus. Don't be afraid of all the information that's coming our way. We need to stay calm and we need to stay focused. And if we do, we will be unstoppable. It's really going to be quite powerful. Now, on the 21st of December, we have the winter solstice. This is the last day of Sagittarius, which then moves into Capricorn. And we'll be doing a separate video on that. On the 23rd of December, we have the North Lunar Node leaving Gemini and entering into Taurus. Remember that the North Lunar Node is the head of the dragon. It is also known as exactly what we need to embrace and learn to handle within our lives. So this is going to be a time where we're looking at exactly what we need to embrace and what we need to handle within our lives as it focuses on Gemini, as it focuses on learning and curiosity. And so here, what we're going to be seeing is that the North Lunar Node is our compass. And as it heads into Taurus, we're going to be much more grounded, much more on our feet, much more firmly planted than we were in the curious, kind of curiosity of the cat, Gemini energy that wants to know everything, wants to look at everything, wants to ask 1,000,000,000 questions, and can feel bored and restless when things are just not stimulating enough for us. So be mindful of that. On the 24th of December, we have Saturn squared Uranus, which is Christmas Eve. So here, the alignment makes us strong and independent. It makes us self-aware and progressive. It also brings inner tension, which makes us tremendously creative and spontaneous. We're just going to feel this inner tension within us. We're going to be looking at things. We're going to be looking at things quite differently. The hangman comes into play here. And it's like, okay, well, how do I incorporate this into something else? How do I move this forward? We have a strong sense of responsibility and really appreciate stability, structure, and tradition during this time. On Christmas Day, on the 25th of December, Venus is conjunct Pluto. Love is astoundingly important to us. If we are of low energy vibration, we have to be kinder to ourselves on this day than we would normally be, because love is what we need. We need it in our lives, and we need to align ourselves with it. This is an alignment that connects us with the heart, with our passion, with the passion of our heart and our heart chakra. Today, it is vital to embrace our hearts, our heart chakras. It's vital to say, I love you. It's vital to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I'm here for you. I connect with you. And it's going to seem silly to some of us. For others of us, we're going to know it's exactly what we need. But this is a day where it's super important. Now, we also have, on the 25th of December, Mars conjunct Chiron. Yeah, there we go. Chiron. Now, this is an intense alignment because we have the fiery passion of Mars. And remember, we're ruled by Mars here, Aries. So whenever Mars comes up, it hits us just a bit more. So the fiery passion of Mars and the wounded warrior aspect of Chiron come together. We need to be a bit aggressive. We're going to need to be a bit aggressive to, take care of what we need to take care of. But we're also going to be a bit overly demonstrative in our expressions of love, in our, sense of this needs to be done, so I'm going to take care of it, and I'm going to take care of things by doing so. So just be mindful of it. It's like aggressively caring. It is going to be something that we really embrace during this time. On the 26th of December, we have Mercury sextile Neptune. Now, this alignment makes us extremely sensitive to the world around us and can bring powerful psychic revelations. So if we're not ready for things to just kind of hit us, we're going to need to meditate. We're going to need to maybe tell Spirit, let this day go calmly for me. Let myself step into slowly the revelations that are coming my way. So be kind to yourself today and also listen to your instincts. We have to listen to our instincts, listen to our intuition. There's just going to be a lot of power there. On the 27th of December, Jupiter is squared the North Lunar Node. Now, this is known as a philosophical time for us. A philosophical aspect is brought forward within this alignment, meaning that we are looking and questioning everything. On the 29th of December, the Sun is squared Chiron. Now, this makes this alignment makes us passionate and intense. It brings the passion and the intensity of the sun, but it also brings the wounded warrior aspect of Chiron. So this is a time where we can feel other people's pains, other people's suffering actually outshines our own. It's almost like I have to sacrifice for everybody else, or else who will help them? And so there's this hyper intense sense of I am needed, but it can also kind of be I'm spreading myself too thin. So just be aware of that. On the 29th of December, we also have Mercury conjunct Venus. Now, this is a loving, refined, and honest time. We are passionate and a bit submissive, so be mindful of the way we move forward in this emotional power, in the way we move forward in love, because we're going to be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, or it's okay, I can totally acquiesce to this or that. And we just have to make sure that we're really okay with it. And we're not just saying that to keep the peace. So be aware of that. Again, on the 28th of December, we also have Jupiter entering into Pisces. Now, Jupiter and Pisces have a lot in common with spirituality, with growth, and with wisdom. But we're going to see a more Piscean energy increasing in ourselves and in the world during this time, which is rather nice. It increases our love with us being more compassionate and more self-sacrificing. We will also have to be mindful about the energy we're letting into our lives, because we're going to feel things much more intensely. And again, psychic gifts are going to be opening. So December is a really good time if we want to start learning the tarot, if we want to just start connecting with spirits or with nature, however it is that we connect, it's opening the door to those realizations, to that power on this day. And also on the, oh goodness, is it the 23rd? I believe so, but no, it's the 20th, also on the 20th. That's going to be very important. Now, on the 30th of December, we have Mercury conjunct Pluto. Now, this is alignment of power, it's alignment of intellect and intense curiosity. We can be astoundingly intense and have a unique way of communicating, a unique way of speaking during this time. It's going to kind of make us stand out. We will be very persuasive and practical. So that's going to be very good for us. On the 30th of December, we also have Mars sextile Saturn. And remember, because we're ruled by Mars, this impacts us greatly. This makes us very driven and very focused. We are cautious and calm on the exterior, there we go. And we will be hiding our inner intensity and ambition inside. It's kind of like we don't want anybody to know what we're really going after. And no matter how long it takes us, this is a time where we start to align ourselves with what we really want, no matter how difficult it is. And we are determined to reach our goals. We're determined to absolutely go after it. So nothing is going to stand in our way during this time. Now, during the whole month of December, Lilith remains direct and in Gemini. So this means that we can talk our way out of almost anything. We're really good at words, though we might have a tendency to smooth over things to make it seem more positive, to take a spin that we really want people to see and play down other things which might not need to be played down. So do be mindful of that. We will also have a tendency to bore easily, and we'll like the chase of things, the hunt, more than the acquisition. So we're really going to get excited about the chase, the curiosity, the learning, the understanding, the kind of hunting, and then once we acquire it, it's like, oh, okay, now I'm on to the next thing. So just be mindful of that. At our root here, we have the Magician. As above, so below. As we believe it, so it becomes. We have tremendous insight during this time. The astrology of it was quite intense. So here, when we're standing before the altar of our existence, where we're saying, this is what I want, and this is what I need, and this is who I am, there's a fierceness, there's an intensity, there's a brilliance here that we need to embrace, that needs to be a part of us, and that we are looking at so much more honestly. Because we have the Magician and the High Priestess. A lot of people see this as a beautiful pairing. It's the pairing of magic. It is the pairing of intensity. And I do agree. I also like the pairing of the High Priestess with the Hermit a lot. And the Magician with the Sun just also goes together brilliantly. So it's not the only way that they can be paired, but it's a very powerful way that they can be paired. And as in any good magician or any good high priestess, They have a flexibility to them that other cards just don't have. They have a rigidity. But here we're going to see a curiosity coming forward. As we're embracing the High Priestess, the veil is lifting from our eyes. Things that we once thought were true, or once thought it has to always be this way, we're going to sit there and say, no, no, it doesn't have to be like this. Or, wow, I always saw this person in this light, in this way, and now I'm starting to see them differently. And as I'm seeing them differently, I'm seeing me differently. And we're not able to lie to ourselves in the same way that we were able to once upon a time. We're going to be much more honest, much more frank, much more, forthright with what we want and where we're headed. We're also going to find ourselves taking power. We're going to find ourselves saying, I get to live the life that I want. I get to embrace the energy that I desire within my life. I am focused. I am determined. I am, fierce, and absolutely not letting anything or anyone hold us back as we do this. The High Priestess has us looking deeper into the waters, looking deeper into what we want from our lives and want from ourselves. It brings us to the Hangman because we have such spiritual intensity coming forward, but also because we have such a sense of, I'm taking control of this. I'm taking hold of this. The Hangman brings us to a place where we're not seeing things the same way everybody else is. And that makes perfect sense. We have the psychic power of the High Priestess. We have the psychic intensity of the Magician coming forward. Both of them have this power to them, and they act it in different ways. The Magician stands before the altar of their existence, right? Says, I claim this, I see this, these are my elemental tools, this is the power that is me. The High Priestess does not come before everybody. We kind of have to go to her. But what she says is that these are the secrets revealed. This is what needs to be seen that we aren't looking at. This is the power and the intensity of truth. Where will it take you? How will you ride this? How will you move forward with it? And it brings us to seeing things so much more differently than we ever had before. It has us looking at things in a way that makes us think, oh, well, I'm wrong. I didn't get that right. I got the memo wrong. I'm not seeing it the way that I should be. And yet Spirit is saying here, yes, you are. Yes, you are seeing it correctly. No, you didn't get it wrong. You don't have to be part of the herd. It's okay to stand out. So often we look at life and it's like, this is what you're supposed to do. But if you look at everybody who colors within the lines and exists within that box of stable security or, doing what we're supposed to do, they're miserable. So what Spirit is saying here, it's not saying to do something rash or silly. It's not saying to, to totally turn over our financial stability or our desire for financial stability. What it is look at the situation different. Let ourselves have times and spaces where our heart gets to shine, where our passion gets to move forward, where brilliance gets to be a part of us, because we're so used to chaos. And it's become commonplace. We've become almost numb to it. If I don't have this certain level of chaos or certain level of anxiety or certain level of, not feeling like I've done enough, I don't actually feel alive. And what Spirit is saying here is that's absolute nonsense. What we need is to look at who we are, what we desire within our lives, what is holding us back, and why it is. There are certain patterns that we have in our existence that we have for a reason. There are barriers that we've built up, usually when we were really small, and then we found ways to implement them maybe more intensely as we grow up. And so here with the Five of Wands, this is chaos that can get out of hand. This is a fight that can start off as something, kibitzy, joking, and small, and then moves into something tremendous and intense. So just be aware of this during this time. It's going to be held inwardly. So it might not even be that we share this with anybody else, but we feel it. And it's kind of like, okay, I just have to keep all the chaos inside. And what Spirit is saying here is that we have to look at the chaos and say, I'm done with it. I'm looking at new roads forward for me. I'm looking at new ways that I want to embrace my life, my soul, myself, where I want to be within my existence. And that becomes the game changer. We're embracing a game-changing time. And as we embrace this game-changing time, we start to see the two roads that we always thought, okay, you either go down column A or you go down column B, but that's what being an adult is. Those are the two paths that you have. Maybe we have some greater notion, maybe we have some idea of maybe something, but it's scary. It's scary to walk an untreaded path. It's also scary to go after what we really desire. We fear people laughing at us. What we're going to see is new roads start to open up, new ways forward that we just didn't think could be. And it brings us to the Two of Swords, again, within our heart. It's like, I can't choose this path and see the world around me. I need to choose this path and be looking at my heart, my soul, my passion, my desire. and really be looking at myself, at what I want and what I need, and what is right for me and what isn't right for me. This is a time of openness, and this is a time of honesty. This is a time of intensity also. It brings us to the Wheel of Fortune. Nothing is as it seems during this time. Everything is changing. One of my favorite quotes is by Plato: all is flux and nothing stays the same. And Plato was, I think he was born 400 years BC. BC? Yeah. Or BCE, before the Common Era, before Christ, however you want to say it. So here we have the Wheel of Fortune, and it's just this change. And it's a change that has always been a part of life. Nothing ever stays the same. And sometimes it's heartbreaking. We will never be that little child whose problems can all be solved with kisses and lollipops and, ice cream. And that's sad. But we will also never be that person who is so codependent on somebody else that they are absolutely in control of our happiness. The world changes. We change. The Wheel of Fortune is having us look at the new season that we're going into, having us look at what we are passionate about and what we desire and what we need and what we want and who we are. It's starting to open up the doors, and we can feel like I don't really have my footing. I don't really know what it is that I'm embracing here or going after. And what Spirit is saying is, look, see, feel. Know that things are changing, and don't try to hold on. Kind of let them go. Let us see where it falls. And this is going to be emotionally. It's like, okay, let it go and see what happens. See what happens. It doesn't mean that we don't fight for things. It doesn't mean that we say to people or situations, okay, we'll just let it be all decided by fate. It's looking at what we really want and stepping into the change that is now a part of our lives. It's stepping into the new season of ourselves, the new essence of ourselves. It's kind of going from that child to the adolescent to the adult. It's understanding that there are certain things that won't happen. Once we settle down, or if we settle down, and we realize, wow, there won't be that time where I fall in love again. Those first couple of weeks of dating where everything is new and exciting, you're falling into a routine. And it's just going to be what we value. Do we value that excitingness, and do we want to chase that all the time and just have a whole life of a few weeks with different people and have it be that? Or do we want something more steady? Do we want something more secure? Do we want something that has maybe a little bit less or a lot less spontaneity to it, but more follow through to it? And that's what the Wheel of Fortune brings. It's like, it doesn't matter how things are changing. It just shows us that they are. And it's asking us, what do we want and what do we value within our hearts, within our lives, within ourselves? And it brings us to the Two of Wands. It brings us to this place where we get to open up the door to the world and see our passion and see our creation and see what we desire. We're holding the world in our hand. And yes, we're standing on this world. And we are such a small little, we could arguably say insignificant dot in the face of all of existence. That why would it matter? Why would it matter how we see ourselves on this earth? Why would it matter how we're moving forward? It matters because it's our story. It matters because we get to be a main character in our story, in our movie, in our book, rather than a supporting character, a person always in the shadows. This is a time where we're looking at what we want, and it doesn't have to be an exciting tale. There are beautiful tales about people, living quiet, peaceful lives where they are discovering and learning and get their heart broken and, discover and find themselves and lose themselves and find themselves again. That is life, and that is as intriguing as any, overpowering, over-energized tale. And so here, we're going to look at things and say, how do I want to walk forward? How do I need to walk forward for me? What is it that I desire? What is it that I need? And we're going to be looking at things so much more differently during this time. It's almost going to be like, how do I open the door to see me? How do I embrace who I am? And as we're doing this, we're also preparing ourselves for the turn of the calendar, right? The buying of the new calendar, the turn of the year, where we enter into 222, or 2022, the angel number of new beginnings. How are we embracing our new beginnings? What are we taking on or into our lives that makes us feel passionate and alive and, beautiful within our skin? Not saying that we all have to be, 20 and perfect, right? Or if you were like me and 20 and not perfect, it's just saying that we get to feel at home within ourselves. And it brings us to the Knight of Coins. And didn't I say this was the Knight of Cups before? So the Knight of Coins is earth sign energy. Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. There we go. And we're going to find ourselves, if we're born on the cusp with Taurus, really having this prosperity come forward. We're looking at slowly and steadily building something of substance. This is patience. This is diligence. This is, okay, how does it become? How do I move forward? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be? And we're building a solid and steady foundation. The Knight of Coins is the knight and the protector of our prosperity. It's the bounty that we're moving forward into. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that is the Hermit. This is Virgo energy. It's saying, don't turn too deeply inward, that we forget about the outside world. This is a time to be lived out loud. There are times where, yes, we need to live our days, our weeks, our months, our years quietly within ourselves, finding and discovering. This is not necessarily that time. This is a time of looking in. This is a time of connecting. But this isn't the time of being lost in the philosophical understanding or, existential crisis of who am I and what do I need. This is a time of being bold and being brave and opening up the door and saying, I'm here. I'm here and I'm moving forward. It moves us to our subconscious energy, chakra energy. And this is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. It's Mother Earth. We need to connect with the earth. Now, whether we connect with the earth with this, kind of loving way of you provide me food, I, walk all over you type of sentiment, or we embrace the earth with a sense of the magic and the mystery and the power of it all. That's personally up to us. But what we're going to see here is that we also have to embrace the aspect of an Earth Mother. And an Earth Mother, we always see her as calm and caring and loving, but she is also the tidal waves and the hurricanes and the blizzards. There's nothing calm and passive about the earth. There's only a certain way to see her that makes her seem controllable, and yet she is not. So what are we embracing in ourselves? Are we embracing that fire and that passion? And how do we ground it in our own stability? It moves us to our subconscious energy, rooted energy, and that is strength. This is Leo energy. So this is, this is that fire, this is that passion coming forward. This is also amplifying the sun in our astrology lineup. So here, we're going to find that our strength is moving forward in our confidence, in our determination, in our insight for who we are and what we want. And that strength isn't brute force, you will listen to me. It is a compassion of the soul, and it is a brilliance of the self. It is a quiet acceptance, and it is a shocking way forward. It really is, of that sense of my heart is strong, my belief in myself is strong, and there is power to my very existence. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and this is the 10 of Cups. And they all live happily ever after. This is a sense of what is happiness for me? How do I get to embrace my dream and my beauty, and how do I get to move forward in what I deeply desire? As we embrace our happily ever after, we get to see what that looks like for each and every one of us. For some of us, it's a house full of kids and a more quote-unquote traditional life. For others of us, it's traveling the world and, seeking out new adventures. It doesn't matter which is our happiness or when that happiness comes forward in our lives. It matters that we take that risk on joy. We take that risk on bliss. And we start to raise our energy vibration by saying, I get to be happy. And it is right and it is beautiful for me to embrace happiness within my life. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the 10 of Pentacles, prosperity and success, bounty and abundance. This is a generational blessing coming in. We talk about generational curses and how, the sins of the father and all that. But here, it is beauty, it is laughter, it is sparks of joy that we get to bring forward into the world. Even if we only have one little spark of joy from our childhood, it's looking at that and manifesting it forward and bringing it forward and, smiling because of the memory and letting joy come forward, letting joy be a part of us. This is wealth, this is prosperity, this is security, and this is sharing it with others. It doesn't mean that if we win the lottery, we have to go out and share our ticket with everyone. What it means is that we start to pass the goods, pass the blessings onward. And that becomes beautiful. It moves us to our subconscious what is this? Inner self. No, public arena self. There we go. And it is the 7 of coins, patience. Are we going to want to be patient? No, we're not. But if we are patient with ourselves, with the world around us, what we're building and what we desire, we will find that the payoff is better than we ever expected. This is divine timing. This is like being told, don't pick the fruit too early because it won't taste as sweet. And this is having the wherewithal within ourselves to realize that it's right. You know, if we pick the strawberries when they are little green buds or when they're white, you know, they'll be bitter and they won't be good. But if we pick them when they're red and juicy and just lush, then it will be like a sweet treat that is endowed with sunlight and just so wonderful that it's hard to describe. So here, it's being patient. It's being patient and letting the reward come forward for that patience. All right. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries.